Hello, Kimi Hento. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are enjoying the New York Comic Con weekend. I know I am, with all of this My Hero Wants Justice 2 footage coming through, and I'm excited for the game. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm excited for the game simply because I didn't think this game would even get a sequel. I thought it was done and over with, and we weren't gonna hear about this ever again. But I'm glad to see that the game did well enough for them to warrant a sequel. What I want to do with this video is kind of give you guys a list of changes that My Hero Wants Justice 2 has made from the first game, because let's face it, what's a sequel if there's no changes, right? So let's talk about them right now. Now, the first thing on the list is the combat itself. It has to do with the combat. Now, as you guys may know, if you played Wants Justice 1, you remember that the combat was very, very floaty. Even if you never played the game, just looking at gameplay, you could tell that there was a lot of floatiness to the combat itself. And a lot of people didn't like that because the character was staying in the air a little bit too long, and the combat didn't really feel like it took place in the ground. Now, in Wants Justice 2, the floatiness is still there. It's just much less of it. You can definitely tell they're trying their best to keep the characters as close to the ground as possible, which is a good thing. I didn't like the floatiness in the first game because it also allowed certain characters to get an advantage over you. For example, when you jump, you know, characters like Toga, who had crazy tracking wearing needles, could easily get you in midair because of how long you stayed in midair after jumping. And things like that just, you know, make the game that much more stressful. So I'm glad to see there's less of that in Wants Justice 2. Next up on the list is stage transitions. Now, me personally, I don't like stage transitions because I feel like they get old really easily. But My Hero Wants Justice 2 did it in a way that I like, which is it doesn't take you out of the match itself and have a long cutscene play or anything like that. It happens in a very natural way where you do a hard knockdown, the map kind of crumbles, and then you end up in the different side of the same map. It's a pretty good way of doing it, and honestly, I give him props for not going the whole cutscene route and trying to make it cinematic, because that does get old pretty quickly. Next up on the list is updated movesets on old characters. Granted, because of the demo on New York Comic Con, we've only been able to see characters like Shoot Style Deku and Bakugo. We haven't really gotten to see Kirishima just yet because he does have his new outfit from Season 4. We haven't gotten to see him or the rest of the cast and see what's different. But because of Bakugo, I can definitely tell they did some adjustments on the moveset. It's not very big, I'll say that much, okay? The changes they made were very slight. They're not gonna be that much different from when you played them on Wants Justice 1. But it's a change nevertheless, it's an update nevertheless, so I wanted to add it on here. Now, Shoot Style also has a projectile now, which is kind of odd for him to have a projectile, to be honest. And for the most part, his moveset is pretty much the same. He has a new projectile, and I believe he has a new ultimate, which, you know, fun by me, to be honest. But other than that, I didn't really see anything different. Now, next up on the list is actually a big change for a lot of people that played Wants Justice 1. And it's sidestepping, okay? So in Wants Justice 2, you can sidestep. Now, there's a caveat to that, which is it's going to allow me to go into the next change that they did, which is they added a stamina meter. Now, in the first game, you had a guard break meter, right? So essentially, you would have a little health bar for your guard. And depending on, you know, how many attacks went on your guard, like how many attacks you blocked, the meter will get lower and lower, and then it would lead into you getting your guard broken. In this game, the stamina meter kind of works for both things. It works as a stamina meter for your side steps, but it also works as your guard break meter for when you block attacks. And I'm going to show gameplay to show you guys the different examples here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And is it a good change? Yes and no. Because in the first game, there were a few characters, not every character, there were a few characters that could actually break your guard with one full combo. Just to give you guys a few names here: Dabi, Todoroki, Shoot Style Deku, and Himiko Toga. Himiko Toga had to actually do her level 1 in order for her to like actually break your guard. But nevertheless, I really hope that doesn't come back for My Hero Wants Justice 2, because it would be a shame. Now, this last one is unconfirmed, so take this with a grain of salt. But if you guys looked at the My Hero Wants Justice 2 gameplay trailer, there was a little bit of the trailer itself where they showed what seems to be a team ultimate. Okay, you got Shigaraki, Himiko Toga, and Dabi next to each other, and it very much looks like a level 2 cinematic. Okay, so I'm thinking that the level 3 for Shigaraki, if he has Dabi Himiko Toga on his team, is gonna be a team ultimate with an actual team tag cinematic attached to it. In Once Justice 1, there was no such thing like that, so I'm glad that hopefully My Hero Once Justice 2 is gonna capitalize on that and make it in the game. Again, it's unconfirmed, take it with a grain of salt, but it looks very likely that's gonna be the case. Now, this next change is kind of weird because I don't know what prompted the developers to do it, but essentially every time you do a combo dash cancel, you actually lose meter for your ultimate. Okay, so your ultimate meter, which is the letters that say plus ultra, that's what your ultimate meter is. Essentially, that gets a little empty every time you actually do a dash cancel. And it's not a lot of meter that it takes. It's very, very small, but it'll take longer for you to actually be able to get enough meters to do like a level 3 or something like that. When you do a level 3, both of your supports come out and you essentially get to actually do your level 1 and then your supports level 1s at once. This last change is not that important, so I'm just gonna go out and say it. The HUD. I actually very much like the change to the HUD. I like the way they have plus ultra on it. I like the way they have the round wins under your character as opposed to under the timer. I always hated that for some reason. And overall, it looks like a really good change. It looks like a good change over the other one. And it just looks more aesthetically pleasing for me. Okay, not a big change, just wanted to point it out. And I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys found something informative out of this video because let me tell you guys, man, all these changes, they're not big in their own way. They're not amazingly huge. And I get that a lot of people are upset about the fact that this game is a sequel as opposed to like a DLC expansion to the first game. But it's up to you guys to decide with your wallet whether you want to get this game or not. I'm not going to try to tell you whether to do it or not because I'm in a different position and it would be unfair for me to tell you yes or no, okay? After I play the game, I'm going to do a review on it. I'll let people know about how I feel, okay? Anyways, guys, I'm out. Peace.